What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today, going to do my day one update from yesterday of the 40-hour, 7-day language challenge. So let's get into it. With my sweet Golden Girls coffee cup. So yesterday was a great day, especially coming off of me studying about an hour a day. And yesterday I really pushed myself. I got 4 hours and 36 minutes of study time yesterday, study/immersion. I am going to break this down. Originally, I was not going to separate it, but I thought, meh, why not? We're doing it for a week. It's not that big of a deal. So yesterday was really, really good. I've been studying Norwegian for, I don't know, 5 or 6 months or so. And I'm going to be going to Norway next year. So that's why I'm kind of concentrating on it. Yes, a lot of people there speak English, but it is what it is. I like Norwegian. So yesterday, of the 4 hours and 36 minutes, an hour and 39 minutes of that was study. And study includes anything that's obviously not immersion. This will include maybe just a little bit of Duolingo. Because, yes, even though the new update sucks, I find that I retain words from Duolingo. People can mock it all they want. I enjoy it in increments, but it's helping me learn some words and phrases. I've also picked up a couple of specific I guess set phrases would be the word. For example, like for example, ser ut, like which is like to look at, and like in between ser and ut, like you put the word or to look like or something like that. So anyway, I've learned a couple things from that. Norwegian Class 101. I do like the podcast. I've used it for a lot of languages that I've studied in the past, specifically Japanese, and I really, really like it. So I've been using that for study. And then anything else, Anki, which I'll get into because Anki kind of bridges the gap between study and immersion, because anything that I'm studying in Anki came from my immersion. So I did an hour and 39 minutes of that. Especially, I'll rack up a little bit of time as I'm going to sleep, because when I'm going to sleep, I'll just crank some Duolingo out, because it's kind of like it's almost like turning your brain off and just kind of doing something, not for the sake of anything outside of just spending a little bit of time with the language. But it's like you don't have to concentrate as hard as if you were reading a book or anything like that. So yeah, that's what I did. So 2 hours and 56 minutes of that time came from immersion, and that I didn't differentiate the immersion. I know people differentiate it between, I don't even know what refold or whatever they're called anymore is even calling the stuff, but I didn't do that. That's just immersion. Now, I can tell you what I did, but I don't have a specific time on the type of immersion I was doing. It's just if I was doing something where I was actively using the language that was at hand, my target language, and I was studying via the target language, that is immersion. Reading, watching TV, listening to music, anything like that. So I did not listen to music. That was a weird example to throw in there. So I watched some TV yesterday, and I read yesterday. I read the first chapter of Ollie Richard's short stories in Norwegian, which I've read before. Not the whole book, but I've actually read the whole first short story. I've read it in Spanish and I think German. I've read it in a couple, so it's already familiar and stuff. And I plan on reading, every day. But I read the first chapter of that, which was great. It was perfectly fine. I don't have to stop on every word. A lot of words, if I don't know them, I'm reading it in Link. I've imported it into Link. So if it's a word that I don't know, a lot of times via context, I can pick up the meaning of the word. So, and that's pretty good. And that's the cool thing about Norwegian. Norwegian, I'm to a point where I can't speak it, but I'm not pretending that I can. But as far as internalizing and being able to understand what I'm watching or whatever, especially when I'm reading, it's a lot less of a struggle. So I read the first chapter of that, and then I'm also doing immersion with a YouTube channel. I'll link it down below. It's called Learn Norwegian in Norwegian. It's Comprehensible Norwegian, and I do that. So it's all comprehensible, pictures on screen, everything like that. It's very much like Dreaming in Spanish for any Spanish learner out there. It's a very, very cool channel, and I've been using that. And then, of course, with it being Christmas time, I actually jumped back into one of my favorite series ever, which is a show called Heim til Jul, which is on Netflix. And it's a Norwegian show. It's about a girl trying to get a basically a date for dinner. That sounds a lot more romantic than it is, I promise. Like, it's a really good show. And I was like, what better way to bring in Christmas, especially with this kind of spur of the moment 40-hour 7-day language challenge, than to get back into one of my favorite TV shows. Perfect timing. And I did that. And I'm watching that with Language Reactor, formerly Language Learning with Netflix, because Refold, or not Refold, Migaku, God, there's so many different things. Migaku does not support Scandinavian languages right now, so I can't use their software as far as like the immersion and stuff. But I use Language Reactor, and I actually mined 15 sentences yesterday from that. And I've got a couple of things. I understood a very large portion of it. Now, if I turn the subtitles off, that comprehension goes down pretty drastically. But when I have the subtitles on, and especially because I've seen it before, but that's, you're going for things comprehensible that are familiar for you, especially when you're still trying to bridge that gap between being a total beginner and maybe a little bit of an intermediate. As long as the subtitles are on, I could follow along pretty well. I don't want to say a super high percentage. So we'll say 60 or 70% I could understand. There's a couple of weird phrasal things that Norwegian does that I may have trouble with and not be able to pick up as it's going. But other than that, it went perfectly fine. I watched some more YouTube videos. There's a couple channels that I watch, which was great. There's a channel called Miss Betta, which is doing like Vlogmas. So they're uploading every day in Christmas or in December. And that's going pretty well. And then last night I capped it off by watching Troll on Netflix, which is a Norwegian movie about trolls. Very, very good movie. And that is where I'm at. I had a super productive day. It went really, really well. I enjoyed every minute of it. And that's the thing with language learning. Let's enjoy what we're doing. So I am going to end this video here because I'm going to go study because I want to get some more time in. I hope you guys are having a great 40-hour 7-day language challenge. And if you're not doing it, I still hope you're having great studies. If you are, let me know down below how it's going, what language, all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video.